Hey everyone. So we got Riesz and Duran yesterday. I did a few polls on Riesz, didn't get lucky. Whatever, I guess. Now, one thing I'd like to mention is the builder, or not the builder, but the wiki wasn't updated yet with the latest icons for this for Riesz. So what you're gonna see is I just screen capped it. So it's not going to look pretty, but we're not here for pretty looks and instead for data and information. All right, let's get right to it. So Riesz in base form is light locked Dragoon. Sprite is really cool though. And in Brave Shift, she is a dark locked Evoker. All right, so one of the things I'd like to put this out immediately is how do you get the dark field on Riesz? The dark field on Riesz is locked to her exclusive equipment that you can craft from the Trials of Mana rewards. And that one unlocks an ability of hers, which is a passive. And once you evoke, what's it called? I forgot the name. The dog one. Fenrir. Fenrir. If you evoke Fenrir, you're getting that 15%, 25%, excuse me, 25% magic and physical dark field. It is magic, so this is also an upgrade over the JP server. So get the piece of equipment, it's a chest piece, and yeah, get it. All right, so these are her abilities, lots of things. This is one of the older units with good kits. So her main damage skill is Meteor Thrust. Now please don't get confused. This is working much like Edgar's Limit Burst, or not Limit Burst. Yeah, Edgar's Limit Burst jump, or the jump in general. It deals damage first, so these 3 attacks of light physical damage, those are before she jumps, and then after 1 turn delay, she lands for 170x light locked physical damage. Other than that, a few buffs for the entire party, which are nice. LB fill rate increase, which is cool. A secondary jump, which you will probably never use, even though it has no element attached to it. It's just not worth it. And then her cooldowns, Evening Stars Protection, 300 attack buff, 50% general mitigation for the team, which is cool. It's also her own 50% light amp, which is good, which is really good. I like that. It's 50%. It helps the damage a lot, even though the damage isn't that good. And she also has Fenrir's Calamity for 25% spear resistance or spear imperil. She also has 130% light and dark imperils. On the passive side of things, we got the standard EX plus 2 unlocks immediate LB, EX plus 3 unlocks 500 static attack. She has 400 passive jump damage. You need the TMR or STMR equip for that though. And she has 5x cap, so you need either the Clash of Will's helmet, the Clash of Will's robe, or Indestructible Light to make her 6x cap. Now she also has 200% physical magical beast killer and 150 human killer, which is decent. She's basically made for the current Vision World boss, but she's not particularly super good at it. And her limit burst is an 80x all enemies finish or chain finisher or LB finisher with 120% imperil to all elements for 3 turns. Nothing too fancy, honestly. It's just the cost is low though at 24 LB crystals. The Brave Shift, more of the same, honestly, in terms of passives. You will see why. But she's an evoker. The thing they did with her was they picked the 7-star base unit from the JP, and they picked 2 units and made them 1 for global, which I like. So she has a lot of these dark evocation skills. We've got the dark wind imperil 120, but really the things that stand out the most are awakened hexes, which is her 490x internal dark evoke damage skill. And there was another one, I think I'm missing it. Oh yeah, Summon Hexes, which is another 150x Dark Evocation skill. It chains an absolute mirror of equity, as is Awakened Hexes, which makes this, I don't know, I don't like it. I would have liked it if they changed this to Chaos Wave Awakened, such that she would be able to chain this with Yigni, for example. Being Absolute Mirror of Equity is an absolute disaster for her, because we don't really have that many meta-relevant Absolute Mirror of Equity chainers. I mean, yeah, Hawkeye is one, but who uses Hawkeye? Nobody uses Hawkeye. And thus her value, especially as an evocation DPS, it's basically zero, because you don't want to use Absolute Mirror of Equity chainers, because we don't have them, or don't have good ones, I should say. So yeah, while her numbers look high, she isn't really that good. Trust me, and we'll see more of that in a minute or two. So the passive side of things, magic instead of attack at EX plus 3, still full LB gauge, still beast killing but only 100%. It doesn't even matter what killer she has, because she's using evocation damage, and evocation does not take into account killers. But she has a lot of evo mag innately, right? So here's 100, and her trust passive also gives another 100. So she's 200 out of 300 already, making evo mag the easiest of the two to max out. She only has innately 100 in evo damage, which is the harder one to cap. She also only has 200% through double hand magic. You either need Pause's STMR or the combination of Azure Radiance, which is Starlight Elena's STMR, and Cetra, Original Arif. Is it Original Arif? Yeah, it should be Original Arif. Arif's Robe, basically, for 50% through double hand magic, which is, well, more than you should be using. But yeah, and you also need some form of 6x cap, because, well, she's only a 5x cap through double hand mage. Alright, so that's for the passives. Passives are okay, I'd say, but the values of hers are rather low anyway. This is the Brave LB magic. This is imbuable magic, or not imbuable magic, or it is actually imbuable magic, because it has the asterisk to it, meaning it's imbuable. It's uses physical killers, which is nice, but you're honestly never gonna use this because it's only 100x and it's 30 hits, which makes this even more depressing. But at least it's a 135 wind and dark in peril, 4 turns, so this is the only saving grace, honestly. The Trustmaster and Super Trustmaster. Trustmaster is a spear, has 178 attack and magic alike. It's a two-handed spear with the regular 1.25 on average spear variance. Has 50% human killer physical only on it, 100% jump damage, and 4 LB crystals per turn. So the stats are bad. Honestly, you're never gonna use this in her Brave Shift, for example, and for her base form. There's just better options, like Emotional Lance from Mazurka is a way better one. It has typically bad spear variants, and is generally not worth the investment. The materia, or the STMR is a materia, 80% magic and attack, plus 20% defense and spirit, but it needs a spear for all of those. And if you don't wear a spear, well, you at least get 40% dark wind resistance. So from my point of view, this is straight up a trash tier Super Trustmaster. It's half okay-ish for the base build, but it really doesn't do much or anything at all for the evocation nor the jump damage build, because it doesn't have jump damage on it. It would have been so much better if they just got rid of the defense spirit stuff, the wind dark resistance stuff, and gave it 50 or 100% jump damage, and suddenly it would have been okay or good, actually. But as it stands, this is useless for most of the time. Vision card, I don't think we really need to talk about this. I talked about this last week twice. It's the same for all Trials of Mana units, 110 attack magic at level 10, 80 unconditional attack magic, 50 LB damage. It's okay for Trials of Mana units, but nothing too fancy for her. These are the assumptions. Not gonna really go through all of them again. The standard stuff, nothing's changed from the past months. This is a true dual wield build for the base form of Riesz. This uses dual wield, and this uses her own Super Trust Master and her own, or the own Trials of Mana Vision card. This is using, by the way, the 7-star JP version of it. That's why you don't see a Vision card. So yeah, this is one way to build this. We need double Warlord guard legs for the 200% true dual wield attack, so it's rather costly. And this is not even capped on Reaper Killer as well, because, well, I could build this for Human Killer or Beast Killer, and it would cap the killers easily, but that's not what we're doing here. We always build towards killers that the units are innately not good against. This is the true double hand build using Emotional Lance and the Super Trust Master of hers plus the Trials of Mana Vision card. And this one actually caps out on Reaper Killer, so it's good. And this is the Evocation build, uses STMR for the TMR bonus, because it has 100% Evo damage and Evo magic. Ferris's sword, Ferris's vision card, Pause's STMR, etc. The not yet available but soon to be Clash Regalia for the 6x cap, the good stuff. But honestly, and here is the kicker, none of this matters. So a true dual wield Riesz is barely above Noctis. Noctis sits at 2.1 billion if you're curious, excuse me. Now, if you're using her against beast or humans, this value increases by a small margin, but don't think she's gonna be relevant, because she won't be. True double hand Riesz with capped killers is still not relevant as a jumper, so yeah, even with variants, it just doesn't matter. And yeah, the Evocation Riesz sits at casually at 1.1 billion. It is so bad, I will never have her on my sheet again. It's just, do you really want to bring a unit that deals 1.1 billion to a Clash of Wills boss with 22.5k spirit defense and 60% passives? Because, truth be told, the Belladonna has, I believe, 225,000 spirit and defense with 100%, I think, passive spirit and magic. Like, Riesz is going to deal less damage than Melia. Do you really want such a unit on your team just to have that 25% dark field? I don't think you'd want that. So yeah, she will just clog your unit slots, not worth it at all, and the dark field will not add enough damage compared to using an actual DPS instead of her. So yeah, how does she fare in the meta? I guess you guessed right already. She is just a wasted slot, in my opinion. She has no purpose in this meta ever. She could be used, and I'll give her that, in a turn 3 clear for Belladonna, because that's the only reason you would ever bring her, honestly. But even then, I guess there's still a better option. But yeah, her dark field is not being used in the gearing prior to all of this, so this is going to make her evoke damage if you're using this this build with her in mind as a dark field provider. Her damage is going to be even lower, because you need another source of 6x cap, thus lose more Evo magic, Evo damage. It's just going to be so brutal in gearing. And that also sadly means we'll have to wait for Yuna, who's also not good at all of a unit. She's also premium, and thus you would be paying 60k for a dark field. That's a huge yikes from me, honestly. So I don't think these dark fields, they are worth it. They are not. They are absolutely not. And it's a shame, honestly. It's really a shame. So yeah, should you pull? Nope. Please do yourself a favor and skip. Unless you really like the unit, I can understand the sprite is awesome, the animations are cool and all. But if you really want a unit that is actually useful, don't do this to yourself. She's really not worth it. And that is the end of this review. Thank you all for watching. I'm sorry I don't have better news for all the Riesz fans, but that's what it is. Have a wonderful rest of the Friday evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you're from. See you all tomorrow for my Duran review, and on Sunday I will continue with more Belladonna clears, and hopefully by then I will have a great score. I do have, at the time of this, it's pretty much midnight. Right now it's Friday, it just got Friday for me, so I'm recording this Thursday for me personally. But so just so you know why I won't be able to push out more videos this weekend is today, Friday, I'm out with a friend. On Saturday, I'm also out with a couple of friends, meaning I don't have that much time. And I do have to work today until 2 p.m. So, yeah. For once, I put IRL before the game. I'm sorry. Anyway, bye bye.